Hey everybody, it's Dr. Guy of the dissertationmentor.com, and I'm doing one of these really rare, if I can even get the words out, a really rare live call here on Facebook, and I want to take your questions live. I wanted to say that August has been really heartening. The popularity of the Dissertation Warrior book has just grown and blown up immensely. I know at least 4 universities that are using the book as their primary text. I'm very excited about what's going on there. And so I want to take a few questions here live and also tell you about something that I'm doing live on Instagram right now. So let's go to the Instagram thing first. Many of you are following me at Guy E. White on Instagram. And I want to tell you that I'm doing a giveaway. I'm giving away 3 of these books right now. I call it the Dr. Guy's 5-Day Dissertation Challenge on Instagram right now. If you go to my Instagram account at Guy E. White, you're going to see that I've given this 5-day challenge. And it's a 5-day challenge that goes over, that you could jump into today, Monday, tomorrow, Tuesday, or even on Wednesday. As late as Wednesday, you can jump in on this thing. I'm giving away 3 of these books, and I'd love for you to be part of it. So check that out. So the number one question I want to start with today is Ben is asking me, where do I find theoretical frameworks? Ben, I want to welcome you to the Accelerator program. I want to thank you for being part of my family that I get to work with every single week. Now, a theoretical framework, there are some very important facets of a theoretical framework that I think are needed. A lot of people ask me, they say, Dr. Guy, what is the difference between a conceptual framework and a theoretical framework? Well, a conceptual framework, I mean, let's say you're trying to understand something in the world for your dissertation, which I imagine you are doing, Ben. And imagine that there's no way that we know of to properly examine this, or there's no theory out there that takes this idea and allows us, or whatever we're examining, it allows us to go through it. And there's no real lenses out there that we can apply to more thoughtfully examine whatever that thing is that we're trying to look at. Well, a conceptual framework says that there doesn't exist any theory out there in the world that could currently be used to understand this thing. And so we have to create one. We might have to cobble together many concepts, hence why they call it a conceptual framework. Now, a theoretical framework says the complete opposite. It says that for this thing that we're trying to examine, there is an existing theory out there, or set of theories that we could use to examine this thing. So the question then becomes, where do you look to find theoretical frameworks? Well, the existing research is the place to start. Most candidates start too late in their reading. Most candidates start way down the line when they're in their dissertation work to start doing their reading. And my greatest hope is that you're spending at least 15 minutes a day, Ben. And that's what, by the way, that Instagram challenge I'm talking about is all about, is 5 days of consistent work. And if you're putting in your 15 minutes a day of doing lots of reading, 15 minutes of reading every single day, think about it. If you had done that 3 years ago when you started your doctoral program, what would happen, right? By this point, if you every single day you'd read for 15 minutes, I mean, I want to grab my calculator and do the math, but hundreds and thousands of minutes of reading you would have done. Chances are you would have come across a number of theories that would help you explain this thing that you're examining. So step 1, Ben, is delve into the literature and see what theories other people are using. And if you can't find them, message me down below, and I gladly would like to talk to you about that. Let's see. Babatandi, hello. I hope I pronounced your name. And Stacy is here too. So good to see you both. Let's see. Thanks for your help. I completed my dissertation and graduated in May. Yes! And congratulations on that. And what do I need to do? What do I need to consider if I want to use my dissertation to do a book? Okay, so first thing you have to consider is the release of the rights from your chair. So what I would do is I'd contact your chair. I would contact the director of the doctoral department in which you were, and I would just say, hey, I want to use what I found and use it in a book. What are the concerns that might come up there? And I think, you know, it's back the same stuff that I talked about in this book, The Dissertation Warrior, is going to be the same exact stuff you're facing every day as you're writing this larger book. I think the key consideration, I mean, most people that are here right now, I mean, you're dissertation writers now, but later on, you're going to be consultants, coaches. You're going to be doing a lot of great work with a lot of amazing people. You're trying to become an ultimate servant. At some point, you're no longer the student. You're the provider. You're the expert. And so my recommendation then is start thinking now about the relationships that you can build with people that are the clients you want to work with years from now. Now, in your case, you're already finished with the dissertation. So what I would do is I would go on Instagram, I would go on Facebook, I'd go on LinkedIn, and I would take a look at who are the voices in the space in which you're interested in serving, and start reaching out to those people and start asking them questions. Because if there's existing people out there that are already doing the kind of work that you'd like to do, I mean, those are the exact people you'd want to be asking if you're going to be writing a book on this subject. Yeah, and it's on ProQuest already. Perfect. I mean, that's a great start. So I would start promoting your paper. I would go to ResearchGate, academia.edu, do a paid membership, or even on LinkedIn. Upgrade to premium on LinkedIn and post your article, not the PDF of it, but a link on ProQuest to it, to the abstract. So that way it's on, above board, and you're doing that legally. Stacy says, hi, Dr. Guy. I'm about to write up my final discussion chapter. Woohoo! And she says also, what are the basics I need to include? Any tips for anything I should definitely include? Well, I mean, you're going to be able to look at the dissertations that have been created in your program to see what are the specifics that usually would go into a dissertation of your type. So, Stacy, what I want to do then is point you to what I think most people miss. What most people miss in their discussion chapter is you could give them everything and the kitchen sink all at once. You could give them every possible piece of data for your study. And at the end of that, there's too much for your audience to hold. So the best thing you could possibly do in your discussion chapter is talk about the difference between a finding and a critical finding. What are the critical findings? Out of all the things you could discuss, what are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you want them to be remembering at the end of that chapter? Now, the importance of doing that in your findings chapter is that in your final chapter, when you're presenting your conclusions, you're going to be taking what the critical findings are, and you're going to connect it all the way back to your literature review. You're going to say something like, because we knew this from the literature, we assumed that this would happen. And either it did happen, or it didn't happen, or it happened in a way we didn't expect. And so therefore, here's how the literature might be able to connect why that happened. And so this is the time where you're actually closing the loop on what you found in the literature review and finally in your discussion. And this is what I love about this process. One of the many things I love about this process is that you get to tie this nice bow on your dissertation experience by saying, I read the literature and I had an idea about what was going to happen and an idea about what I was going to find. You also get to hold that you are a practitioner and that you probably had some guesses about what would happen. And then on top of that, you did an awesome study. And because of that, your findings are qualified and part of the greater literature now. And so just like the last two of you have mentioned, the greatest thing is that now you get to close the loop even further, and you get to put your work out there in the world. You get to be a servant. And now you're part of the body of literature. And one of the coolest experience, when you write a book, when you write a study, is your stuff starts getting cited out there in the world. And if you're plugged into places like ResearchGate, like academia.edu, what happens is you start getting notifications when people start using your stuff. And that is such an edifying feeling. And on top of that too, because you're part of the conversation now, you get to continue and extend that conversation if you wish. And you get to be part of those experts, that field of experts that's out there. People are going to email you, Stacy, asking for information about your topic. And it'll be one of the coolest moments in the world when you get that email. All right. So let's see. Gina. Hi, Gina. How are you? And I was making steady progress on my first chapter, a combination of reading and writing, but let summer teaching obligations, derail me. And now I'm super anxious about just getting back into the world of my project. I have no idea where to start. Any advice? So first of all, first thing, Gina, when this video ceases, I want you to immediately just go and take 15 minutes, download some articles, or if you have an article already, I want you just to read it for 15 minutes. There is a school of thought that says that immediate, drastic action will help cure this feeling of anxiety. You know, it's like if I had a bad interaction with one of my friends or a business associate or something like this, and I'm sitting there and, you know, it's like 8 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night, and I'm just really bothered by this, there's an opportunity for me to reach out and better that situation right then and there. And likewise, with the dissertation stuff, many people sit in this icky feeling of, I'm not making progress, and I'm not going to make progress. I would much rather you spend 10 to 15 minutes or more immediately getting into the work rather than sitting there and feeling anxious about it. But Gina, I also want to just acknowledge the fact that we all go through seasons of life. I mean, it sounds to me, based upon what you're writing here, that you weren't sitting on the couch eating potato chips, or like I did when I was a doctoral student, sitting there playing Legend of Zelda as a way of somehow getting out of my work. You were doing something really productive. You were doing something for you and your family. So nothing really bad. I mean, so one is there 15 minutes. The second thing is, Gina, if you're not already doing so, I would recommend the practice of, you know, read one chapter of the Dissertation Warrior every night or every day, whenever you feel like it's a good time for you. There's something like floating in my office here. And so you read one chapter, let it be like your daily devotional. Another thing that you can do more in the short term is, I mean, there's some books out there that I think are just completely amazing and worth your time. Carol Roberts has a book called The Dissertation Journey. It is a very different book than mine. The Dissertation Journey is about the particulars of what goes in every section of your dissertation. And so that book is just an immense resource for a lot of the candidates with which I work. So I would recommend go and get your hands on both my book, The Dissertation Warrior, and get your hands on Carol Roberts' book, The Dissertation Journey. I cannot recommend her book more than this. It's just amazing. Such a great book. So check that out. And lastly, I would say there needs to be something, Gina, I'm sure there already is, but just in case, there needs to be a place in your life, a physical location where the dissertation work happens. I have an office here, as you can see. And the advantage of this office is when I come into this room, my body, my soma is conditioned that this space is used for certain types of work. It's used for communicating with those people that I serve. It's used for deep reading. It's used for writing purposes. I don't do anything in this, like I don't watch TV in this office or anything like that. This space is just for the type of work that I'm designed to do as a human being. And so likewise, my hope would be that you find a space for you that is, when you step into that space, it is dissertation time. And when you step into that space, it is go, go, go time. And you are only doing dissertation work. Or you have a place where you can at least lock the door, turn off the phone, and get away from other human beings for a little bit so you can get this type of work done. A challenge often, I know a lot of people that do dissertation work at work. The problem, of course, is that if you have a boss, your boss comes by and they're poking their head in and they're like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Leave me alone. I'm doing something," and that's no fun. So I would recommend getting into that space. Thanks for asking, Gina. So I got a lot of you guys on here. This is really cool. So any other questions you want to pose my way? Yeah, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Good to see you. Yeah, so what I would say, so first of all, your question is, when I feel stuck, what should I do? Well, that goes back to really a lot of what I've been saying already in this discussion, is that when you feel stuck, I think there's different forms of stuck. There's the form of stuck saying, I'm spinning my wheels. I've tried writing something, but my dissertation chair keeps asking me for revisions. If you're stuck in that cycle of revisions, I would recommend reaching out to your dissertation chair directly, getting on the phone with them if you've not done that already. A lot of people rely upon the email communication, but man, being able to sit with your chair and be two human beings together, it completely transforms this process in which you're sitting, because it can be so daunting and frustrating to do hours and dozens of hours worth of work and then just to get a handful of comments back. Whereas if you were sitting with that chair or communicating with them via phone, they would probably provide you some acknowledgments of the great stuff that you did and what you could do in the future. My greatest hope is that everyone here can have as fruitful of a relationship as I had with my chair, where I feel like when I sat down with my chair, there was a mutual exchange of respect. And she was willing to tell me where I was wrong. She had the guts to do that. And she didn't provide me all the answers. You know, that's not the role of your chair, to provide you all the answers. Your chair is there to be a mentor and a facilitator of your research, not as a teacher that teaches research. Now, if you have someone that does that on top, I mean, that's an added benefit. And so send them flowers and candy. Now, Michael, if you find yourself and you're saying, I'm stuck as in, I don't know where to go from here. I'm stuck in my purpose statement, or I don't know about how to create the logic that's going to allow me to write my chapter 1. Well, reach out to me, man. I'm right here and I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to do anything that you need to help you through this journey. Well, lovely people, the window for questions is about this big right now, and I'd love to take one more before I get off and call it a night. So who has a question? Go ahead and type it in that box. Love this live thing. I'm going to do this more often. Okay, so what I want to tell you all is what I started this whole video with. On Instagram, at Guy E. White, I'm running a giveaway right now. I'm giving away 3 copies of the Dissertation Warrior book. I call it the Dr. Guy's 5-day dissertation challenge. Everyone that's watching this video should get on Instagram, follow me at Guy E. White, and participate in this contest, in this 3-book giveaway. Even if you already have the book, you should still participate in the giveaway, because it's going to make so much progress for you this week, and you'll have the opportunity to give your book to someone else perhaps that needs it. My greatest hope is to be of just profound service to each and every one of you. If there's anything that I can do to make your life better, please message me. That's why I'm here. And please leave me your questions and thoughts at the bottom of this video. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you're going to participate in the 5-day dissertation challenge. And if you'd like for me to come back on here live and answer your question, I will do so. Just let me know in the comment section below. Have a great day, team. I believe in you. Good luck. At least 15 minutes today.